Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Ausra.
Let's start episode 211 of Ask Vidas and Ausra podcast. This question was sent by John, and he writes, could you also talk in your podcast about actually recording the CD? Like where to place the microphone or what sort of microphone to use, how to pick the microphone, what sort of editing processes should be used, and how to organize the actual recording schedule. For example, did you do the whole CD in one hit or over several days or weeks? Did you record at night when there is less background noise in a city location? So, Ausra, this is the question which needs a lot of technical knowledge, right?
Yes.
We have recorded several CDs, but those were taken from live performances.
Yes. And actually, in some of those cases, we just hired professional sound engineer to do it. As for example, at Eastern Michigan University, remember?
Oh, so that was additional
yes, but
cases.
we have a CD from that.
Additional, or a couple of CDs that I did alone, or with a soloist or with the choir at our church.
Yes.
So yes, professional sound engineer is probably the best quality choice to hire, right? Because if you do it all by yourself, then it puts a lot of stress on yourself.
That's true. Plus, about where to put the microphones. I think in each case it's, an individual choice. It depends on the organ, on the room that organ is built in, and so on and so forth. But of course, if you will record, it's best to do it at night when you have less outside noise.
And it's important not to be interrupted, right?
That's right.
Because even the slightest noise can be heard in the final recording, and it will be an evidence basically, and will be there forever.
That's right. Now about to know how to record it. It depends on how do you want to do it. If you want to have a live performance, that's one way to do it. Then you will just have to play everything, each piece from the beginning to end. And if you are thinking about editing things, then you can take, and do several shots of each piece. And the most important thing that way is that you would pick up the same tempo each time. That way you will be able to edit, to cut some things, to omit some things, and to glue things together.
Yeah, sound engineers can do that without any slightest break.
Yes, although myself I prefer live recording without any cuts and editings.
Depending on how long the piece is, right? If it's like let's say you're playing a sonata by Roipke, which lasts 25 minutes, right? And to play it at the level suitable for not only for the recording, but as an evidence for years to come for you, it might be exceedingly difficult.
Yes, that's true, but it depends for what is the reason for your recording. If you want to sell it, then yes, do as much editing as you can. But if you are required, for example, to send a recording for, let's say, audition, for, let's say, a recital in some famous cathedral, or you are applying for an organ competition somewhere, you are required to send a live recording.
Yeah.
Without any editings, any cuts. So it depends on what your final purpose is.
Or if the mistakes are very minor and not really obvious,
Yes,
then it might be okay for a gift recording.
that's true. And sometimes you even have, to provide a witness, somebody that, that the people that you are sending your recording actually know and can trust that you really did it without any editing.
All right. So those CDs that we recently published with Kunaki, we chose live performances we played from real concerts that we felt were sort of acceptable. They might have one or two or very minor things, but we didn't notice them, right? We had to look. We didn't look at the microscope, and nobody will look through the microscope at your recording. Basically, you have to be happy with your performance, and the most important thing is that you feel satisfied with the quality level for many years to come, right? And then you can release it as a public recording. Don't you think, Usha?
Yes, I agree.
Some people are too meticulous for my taste. They work in small fragments, like several measures each, and then basically they spend weeks with their sound engineer. Not only it's very expensive to do this way, but it takes the life out of the recording.
That's true. And I think the live recordings are more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there are people, who just listen to the CDs or to any recordings, and the main goal of listen to it is to find your mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
There are people like that.
Mm-hmm.
But usually that are people who cannot play well themselves.
Exactly. And if you receive a harsh comment from them, and you ask them to give an example of their playing, they usually back off and disappear.
I know.
So for John and others who are wondering how to record the CD, we would like to offer the following advice as a summary, probably, of what we have said so far. That yes, you need to be basically prepared, regardless if you are playing it live or not, with a sound engineer waiting for you. You have to be as well prepared as possible, right? Don't waste your or engineer's time, right? Not only it's expensive to do this many takes over and over again, but it's not really professional, right? Your sound engineer might be annoyed, and so spend as much time as you can preparing yourself, and you can do the following. If you have a good camera, video camera, or even a microphone with an audio recorder, you could record your own live concerts and play as best as you can, and then you can freely choose whatever you like. Even some pieces you don't like, you can omit, right? And you can make a compilation CD out of, I don't know, 4, 5, or 6 recitals over the years, not necessarily in one sitting. But those pieces would be done live, right, Osha?
Yes.
Without any extra work from your part. You just show up and play, and if you like the performance, you can publish it in a recording.
Yes, and these are, great gifts for your friends.
Mm-hmm. But if you do need a sound engineer with some editing, I think playing at least 3 times your piece would be helpful.
Yes, that's true, because sometimes things happen like, you play a piece straight through without any stopping, and somehow you feel that everything worked just fine. But then, after listening carefully back to your recording, you might find some small things that you would want to change.
Exactly. It was the case with me playing D minor toccata by Bach. And the first, I think, passage or a couple of pages went really smoothly, I thought. And I left it without any repetition, without retakes, because I was happy. But then when I brought the recording to sound engineer, we both listened to it, and right at the end of the first page, I made a slightest mistake, and I didn't have a second run or the third run like I did for the fugue, for example. And he had to work really, really hard to cover my tracks.
I remember that time actually, and that's the funny thing, very bizarre thing, that I haven't heard that mistake either. I was present, I was turning pages for you. I don't know what happened to us. Seems like an elephant stood on our ear that night.
So I hope an elephant will be present in the room, but not on your ear when you record. So try it out. Try both ways, live recording or with several takes, and see what you like most, right? One last thing, Osha. When are you more relaxed? When you know that somebody is recording you, or when you don't?
Of course, when nobody is recording me.
So if we say this recital will be recorded and hopefully published as a CD, you will be very stressed out, right?
Sure.
Me too. And whenever I play this way, I make one or two mistakes. I get very, nervous about the entire recital, and it's not good. I think when you make a mistake like this, you have to relax and say, oh, now it's official, you made a mistake, it's not for public release, now you can make music. And guess what? Maybe other parts of the recital will be suitable for the public release.
That's
because
true,
of
yes.
this. Thank you guys, this was Vidas.
And Osha.
Please send us more of your questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.